To integrate services in Modyo, it usually helps to have a JavaScript framework. So let's talk about how we can do this. If we go through templates, we can see we have these snippets here. And in our custom snippets down here at the bottom, we can see some libraries and frameworks that have already been loaded. For example, today we're going to use Vue. We see this base Vue.js. And because it's for development, we're using a full development version, and this allows us to do things like inspection. If we were going to go into full production, we could replace this with a minified version that prevents people from inspecting through the console. And also, we're going to use an additional tool called Axios. But first, we need to add our custom snippet. And then once we add it, we need to make sure that it's available for our widgets to use. So this is often a requirement on a lot of different custom widget projects that you might want to undergo. And in this case, we'll show you how to load that. So let me just jump over to Axios here real quick. And I'll go to the GitHub. I think I just want to go directly to their CDN, and I'm just going to copy paste the text directly. So here we go. Let me grab this. Oh, oops. Here, let me grab this here real quick. Okay, copy paste. Copy it again, and let's go back in here and let's add a snippet. In this case, we'll name it Axios_JS. This _JS allows the platform to recognize this as a JavaScript file and will automatically color code it correctly, which is a nice little feature. So now with that saved, we actually want to load this into our JavaScript theme. So we want to be able to make this available for the widgets to use. So you can see here we have this base Vue.js that we're already done with the other snippet here. So I just want to copy this and then replace it with Axios library. Okay, and then what I can do is I can go back to snippets and I can just grab the snippet directly. Okay, so whoops, I need to actually copy the snippet, Wesley. There we go, copy it. Okay, paste it in here. Great. So now I have both of these available. Now, this is just the most default way possible, but you can actually see here, let me publish this first. Okay. And so if I go back into, not snippets, if I go back into the assets and I click on the JavaScript theme, you can see that we have a lot of other JavaScript that's loading. And in fact, you can see some Vue components that we're loading into the window, such as the date picket, the month, the year. And in that same way, we can make certain elements in Axios available through the window. You can see some other configurations down here. And if I wanted to, I could load certain defaults, right? So if I make this Axios available at the level of the window object, I could then load certain other defaults, such as maybe the base URL. I believe that, oh, here, let me rewrite this here. This is window.axios.defaults, and then the base URL. And then, here, let me put some quotes here at the end. So in these quotes, I could put the URL of whatever API that we wanted to connect to. As part of the configurations for how I want Axios to operate, right? So with this configuration tied to the window, we could continue to configure numerous defaults, such as instances, access tokens, authorization configurations, everything that we need for our correct certifications. This is where you would have all your security as well, and you could define everything, save it. Like I said, the access tokens, available components, Axios has interceptors as well. So let me save this. And we could also exclusively, though, we could load specific configurations into one of these custom snippets, right? So we could basically call on a custom snippet that has specific configurations that we need, and then load that snippet only in certain instances here at the global level. Okay, if that were a requirement for our project. But what we want to do now, I've saved it, let's just go ahead and delete this base URL modification and just use Axios with everything set by default. So that means that any widget we're going to use is the default version of this snippet, which is fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and publish that. Okay, great. So now we have Axios available, well, not just Axios, Axios and Vue, both available by default for any widget that we want to create.